Hi, I'm John Hicks from Official Xbox 360 magazine. I'm here at E3 with Tim Clark from CVG. We've just been sitting in the Microsoft Xbox conference. Lot of new games on show. Quite a few ones we already knew about. Halo 4 was the opener. That looked spectacular. We also saw some great stuff from Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, and Call of Duty Black Ops. And then we also a lot of talk of new services, so there's a new Xbox Music service, and we're bringing Microsoft to coming up with new ways to make tablets work with Xbox 360. So, lot to see. Tim, what was your highlight?
I think in terms of a reveal, like SmartGlass was quite new to me, and actually seeing that being demoed, it seemed like a kind of a direct response to Wii U. It's going to kind of take them on in that second screen, ability to chuck stuff around. The browser stuff was actually, I found quite interesting, I guess, because I'm a bit of a kind of software nerd. But I mean, it's for me, like over last year felt to me like quite a joyless sort of trudge through a lot of Kinect stuff. Whereas this time they didn't muck around on stage. They just went big game after big game after big game. And it looked a really solid lineup. It felt like what it is. We're towards the end of a generation. Developers know the machines inside out. So like, there's nothing which doesn't look very polished, very solid. I mean, it's going to be a great crop of especially third-person action games, right, with Raider, Resi 6. South Park was really funny. I tell you what I did think was seeing Stone and Parker on stage, you realise just how sort of, even the really well-polished execs, how stiff they are, because they were so natural and taking the mickey out of the device convergent dream of having everything attached to everything and being a walking USB stick. So yeah, that was really good fun. What stood out for you in terms of the software, John? Halo? Was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought Halo looked really amazing, actually. I mean, that's the second time I've seen it, and every time I've seen it, I'm impressed by, I mean, as you say, we're at the end, we're coming to the end of the 360's lifespan, but that game looks absolutely amazing. If they'd have come out and said, oh, by the way, this is running on Xbox 720, that wouldn't have actually surprised me, because it looked really spectacular. And the new Splinter Cell looked really cool as well. I quite like the kind of the Kinect integration they had with that, where you could actually sort of use that for stealth purposes and the kind of like beckoning people over kind of touch.
A, that was the first game I've really thought I would want to use the Kinect stuff for. B, that was the third-person game I was trying to think about. I felt like they'd learned some of the lessons of Conviction, where they'd gone too far down that kind of old instant kill and dropping everything into black and white. And it felt both like a modern, very punchy action game, but also with some still kind of stealth trappings. Although he wasn't exactly sneaking around, was he? He went pretty weapons free, as far as I could tell. Yeah. I thought with Halo, yeah, like what I wouldn't want from 343 is for them to churn out just a quite polished retread of what the previous games were. And there's new enemies, there's clearly new weapon sets that work in a different way. They seem to have taken it in a pretty different direction, and that's got to be what that series needs, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and I think, I mean, that was the first time we've seen the new enemies and like the Forerunner tech, which has been rumoured for ages, and it was interesting to me to see. Obviously they've got the grunts and the characters that that we're familiar with, but actually seeing like those new enemies with like weird attacks and weird movements and that sort of thing. It's like, so it's obviously it's Halo, but you are genuinely fighting a new challenge that I can't think of another game that I've actually seen enemies like that in. And also Microsoft announced Xbox Music, which is new service again. They're talking a lot about how it's something you can get on PC and you can get on tablet and you can get on phone, and then it kind of connects to your Xbox as well. Seemed pretty good. I'm not sure. Obviously, Zune's kind of been there, and this looks like it's the replacement. I mean, does it look like something that you think you'd use?
I don't know. Like, I was furiously trying to live blog, so I don't know if I missed a memo, but like I didn't really understand what the sell of it was. You live in a world where iTunes is completely ubiquitous, where Spotify will stream just about anything on the go and on mobile already. So I wasn't quite sure. Like, I'm certainly not going to start putting what CDs I have remaining into my Xbox to rip them. I don't really need somewhere else to buy music from, I don't think. So I didn't quite grasp what the USP was. Maybe you can explain it to me, John.
Well, no, I think as I understood it, and obviously, what we've just seen the sort of very flashy trailer up on the big screen, but as I understand it, it is about having that kind of central thing. So rather than having iTunes on your PC and having your iPad and having Spotify and that kind of thing, it's just like a single thing that works across all of it. So I can see that working out really well.
That's what iTunes Match does. Although iTunes Match is absolutely rubbish, I can say that. I'm sure Microsoft will be pleased to hear me say that's an awful piece of software.
Well, can fix, and the kind of connectivity that they showed with Halo, which was badged as concept, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but that looked quite smart when they've sort of showed when you can go and look at like a point of interest in the game, and then that'll flag up on your tablet and you can investigate it, and there's all this sort of you can use your tablet to kind of set up multiplayer matches and that kind of stuff, which again is the sort of thing that's been talked about with Wii U, but it looks like Microsoft's going to be there first and presumably Well, actually, no, definitely, because much is being made about the fact it was using stuff you already have rather than trying to flog you a new controller.
What did you think of finishing the show with Black Ops? Was that the right call for you?
I think it was a really good. I mean, absolutely, typical Call of Duty, absolutely spectacular nonsense. It was incredibly loud, although not as loud as the Gears trailer. I thought that was quite a good sort of games thing to end it on, because obviously there was we had some games at the beginning, and then there was a lot of talk about services and platforms and content and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of nice to kind of leave on a highlight. Slightly surprised it wasn't Halo, but I guess they wanted to open with Halo because that's obviously Microsoft's biggest game of the show.
Was one of, like, I guess if I was looking to kind of find fault with it, and I actually thought it was a really solid conference. You might argue that there was perhaps a lack of variety. I mean, there's a lot of shooting and kind of. I mean, it was so action heavy. I guess you had a little whiff of Forza, and there was the Angry Birds-esque Kinect games. But fundamentally, it was a show about men and a few ladies shooting other men and zombies and drones, and it was really action centric. Is that an issue? It's not, is it?
I don't see it as it for Xbox. No, I think certainly. I mean, you come to the Xbox conference. This is the Xbox audience is it's all about guns and shooting and racing and blowing stuff up. And I think absolutely delivered on that. I think the obviously there were only we were kind of hoping for new games, and there's just a handful. I mean, there's a new twist. Actually, I thought it was interesting the games they did announce. There's one from Twisted Pixel, one from yeah. Yeah, and the Ascend game, and I thought it was actually. I mean, obviously Ascend got a God of War elements to it, but I thought all of those games struck me as I couldn't quite pigeonhole them in genre-wise. They all look quite distinctive.
Is Ascend the Alex Seropian game, the ex-Bungie guy?
No, I don't think so. It's from the guys who did Toy Soldiers, which is the XBLA kind of sort of tower defense little strategy game thing.
I've exposed my lack of dev knowledge there, but yeah, I thought that looked quite exciting, that one.
Yeah, I thought it looked really cool, but obviously we just got like a very brief glimpse of it, so I don't know how that's going to finish up. I guess we'll be playing it on the show floor and have a bit more insight into it then.
It did that classic visual trailer thing of going, you think this man's big? Now look at a man who's 10 times as big. Now that's big. It's kind of like Crocodile Dundee, but
yeah, and it's yeah. But it would have been nice to have some, I mean, there was rumours kicking around earlier about like a new Alan Wake, for example, like if it, like some proper brand new blockbusters. But I guess something you can take away from this is that Microsoft, they haven't announced a new console, but they've made very clear that there will be one next year, because everything here has got a projected arrival date of first half of next year. So we're going to be here this time next year, and it's going to be all new, all spectacle. So that's something you can kind of take away. It's been kind of announcing a new console next year by its absence.
So what you're saying is this time next year, get your Xbox 360 on eBay pretty quick, because the market's going to be swamped.
I wouldn't go that far. Is Microsoft watching this?